No group of death has actually killed anyone this year, which is a little awkward for the name. Picture the draw. A darkened studio, a big board, 4 former players in nice suits leaning over it like surgeons over a table. Someone uncaps a marker. They circle one group, always the one with the most famous badges in it, and they say the words. The group of death. Everyone nods. Somewhere a designer adds a skull. And then, a few weeks later, all the scary teams in that scary group walk through anyway, and nobody mentions it again. Here's the uncomfortable part they don't like saying at that desk. The group everyone fears is usually the safest one, and the group that actually eats a contender alive is the one nobody bothered to circle. So let me count it down. The danger signs, from the loudest and most useless up to the quiet one that does the real damage. Number 5 is on every broadcast. Number 1 just knocked somebody out while you were watching a different match. Start with number 5, because you already believe it. The stack of giants. 3 big names, 1 group, and the certainty that they'll tear each other apart. There are 2 problems with this. The first is the arithmetic, and the arithmetic changed right under everyone's feet. This tournament is 48 teams, 12 groups of 4, and 32 advance. 2 from every group plus the 8 best third-placed sides. Do the division and roughly 66% of the field survives. It used to be half. When 2 out of 3 get through, putting strong teams next to each other barely does anything. They almost all go through anyway. You didn't build a group of death. You built a group where everyone lives. The second problem is that a true stack of giants is filtered out before a ball is even kicked. The seeding pots exist precisely to hold the top teams apart in the early rounds. The best sides are spread across the groups on purpose, so the marquee collisions land in the knockouts, not on match day 1. Which means the group of death, in its honest all-heavyweight form, is exactly the thing the whole draw system is designed to prevent. And still the marker comes out every cycle. It's a ritual. Good television. It kills almost nobody. That brings us to number 4, and here the danger turns real, because it stops being about how many stars are in the group and starts being about who's standing next to them. The beatable giant. Not the group of 3 monsters. The group with 1 monster and 1 very well-organized problem. Want the live example? Look at what happened to Brazil. 5 titles, the most decorated team in the history of the sport, drawn into a group that on paper looked like a gentle warm-up. And their opening match finished 1-1 against Morocco, the same Morocco that reached the semifinals last time. Brazil won the group, yes, but they finished above Morocco only on goal difference. Level on points with a small team. The giant didn't cruise. The giant got grabbed by the collar by a side nobody circled and spent the whole group glancing over its shoulder. That's the sign to watch for. Not 3 famous badges. 1 famous badge and an opponent with a very good plan. Number 3 isn't visible on the badges at all, because it isn't about the teams. It's the schedule. This is the first World Cup with 3 host nations stretched across a continent, which means some groups draw a sentence made of travel and heat that has nothing to do with their opponents. A brutal kickoff time in suffocating humidity, a long flight between venues, a body clock dragged across time zones. That difficulty is invisible on a draw board. You can be the better team and still fade in the last 20 minutes because you played at midday in furnace air after crossing half a country to get there. The pundits circle the group with the frightening names. Almost nobody circles the group with the frightening travel. Number 2 is the cruelest because it comes for teams that thought they'd done enough. The tiebreakers. With 8 third-place spots in play, finishing third doesn't tell you whether you're alive. Points alone won't save you. It goes to goal difference, then goals scored, and if that's still level, it slides all the way down to fair play, yellow and red cards deciding who packs a bag. Ask Scotland how that feels. They finished their group on 3 points, with a genuine win on the board, and they went home. Not beaten by a giant in some dramatic collapse, edged out by third-place teams in other groups who'd scored 1 goal more somewhere or conceded 1 fewer. In this format, an easy group can be the most treacherous thing on the calendar because you can play well, take your points, and still be pushed out by arithmetic happening in a stadium you'll never visit. And that stadium you'll never visit is number 1, the simultaneous final round. The last 2 matches in every group kick off at the same time, on purpose, so nobody can sit with a calculator and play out exactly the result they need. Which means a team that feels completely safe can be ambushed in a match it isn't even playing in. Brazil's fight for top spot came down partly to what was happening in another game at the very same moment, hundreds of miles away, out of their hands. Your fate, held by strangers, live. No timeouts. Danger isn't fixed at the draw. It moves. It can arrive in the 88th minute of somebody else's match. Now the flip, since the countdown's done. Everything the broadcast taught you to fear is number 5, the loud, safe, survivable one. And the thing that actually removes a contender is some mix of the bottom 4, an awkward mid-tier side with a plan, a schedule out of a horror film, a tiebreaker you didn't know you were losing, and a final round you don't even control. None of which gets a skull, which raises the obvious question. So where's the trap this cycle? And here I'll be honest, because this is a lens and not a prophecy. Naming the single most dangerous group is a judgment call, not a fact. But watch what's already happened in the knockouts. Morocco, the small team from Brazil's group, the one nobody feared, knocked the Netherlands out on penalties. Egypt, quiet and unfancied, went through on penalties too. The teams doing the killing are the exact ones nobody circled. So next time you do this yourself, don't look for the group with the most famous names. Look for the group where one organized outsider can take points off a favorite, where the travel and the heat pile onto one side, where third place comes down to a single goal. That's your group of death. It just doesn't look like one. That's the whole trick, and it's why I genuinely like to know what you think. Looking at what's left in this tournament, which group are you actually watching? The glamorous one everyone named on draw night, or the quiet one you've privately filed as the real trap? Drop it in the comments because I suspect we're not circling the same one. And if this changed how you look at the bracket even a little, that's the reason this channel exists. So stick around, subscribe, and we'll keep reading these tournaments the way the people at that desk should. Because here's the small thing to keep. When Scotland went out, they had 3 points and a win. Somewhere a team with those same 3 points was still in it. Same number, different fate. And nobody circled either of them.